Here we are once again, folks. As always, 1978 Toyota pickup, Hilux, 20R engine, 5-speed transmission. Ongoing story of the never-ending ignition fix. So far, I've replaced every ignition part in this thing. Plugs, wires, cap, rotor, distributor with a brand new pickup coil. Ignition module conversion from the original Toyota to GM module. Runs fine, runs great. Anything above 1500 RPM won't idle. Inconsistent idle. It gets warms up. It stalls on you. But once I finally got all that stuff done, it started and ran okay for 2 minutes, but then just died. Boom. Started up, runs 40 seconds, died. Started again, it ran for 10 minutes. Managed to get through the warm-up cycle, got it down to a low idle. Low idle was good. I got rid of the inconsistency because there was a brake booster line that was bad on this. Leaky vacuum. It's another story. The brake booster diaphragm's messed up. That's a whole other story. But I capped off the port for the brake booster line. Had a consistent idle finally, so it was a vacuum leak. But after running for 10 minutes, it just cut off again. And as I said in the previous video, I had a tack hooked up to this, and when it cut off like that, I was actually looking at the tack. And it didn't do the sputter die thing, and the needle didn't do the it just went straight down. So that told me it was an electrical problem. But since I replaced all the electrical ignition things under here, could only be one last thing in the ignition system. Ignition switch. Apparently, what's going on is this is a 4-position switch. It's off, accessory, on or run, and start, which is momentary, of course. Apparently the contacts in this old one on the run circuit are worn or corroded or something, and too much resistance building up, or they get heated up because of the resistance, and they just open up and stop all the power flow, which cuts all power to the ignition and just stops running. Apparently this is a common problem, and not just with Toyotas, with all kinds of other cars which have typical ignition switch like this. Not your newer computer stuff, I won't get into that. But this is the old one. Here's the plastic piece of the bottom steering column cover. It goes on like this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. These 4 are all the same. These are smaller ones. I got them over here, ready to go. Take this bottom cover off and come over here, and you can lift this up just enough. Now, see in here? Let's see if you can get up in there. That round part, that little tab right there fits into that little slot. Let's see if I can get a good look at that. There we go. And turns that slot. And that's where it goes. There we go. And this little hole is one screw that just holds it to this. And this is the back side of your key cylinder. There we go. Get a look at that right there. So, and that was in here. Let's see. That's down like that. So it had been mounted in there like that, and this wire just wraps around the column and comes out, hooks up to this connector right here. This wire here is for your turn signals. But that's your ignition connection right there. So we're gonna, excuse me, didn't mean to drop you. We're gonna see about getting the new switch in here. I doubt I can show you the process. I'll try, but it's not going to be easy. I don't really have a stand or anything here, so I can show you really close. Stand by, we'll be back. So there we go. That's in its spot. Got the little tab lined up with the screw hole. It only goes one way. With this slot turned all the way to the left, that's the off position. And that's where I've got the key. So that tab can only go in one way. It's got a fully seat in that socket, and it is. Next thing you do, get the screw in there to hold it down, and then rove this wire. We'll be back. So, installation complete. There's a hole back here that this wire has to run through, along with the other one for the turn signal switch. It's a little cutout. But I did these two small screws first to get the base situated, and then did up the other 4 screws. But there you go, it's all back together. I'll do some testing on it. I'll update you later about how it's working and whether it solved the problem. Thanks for watching.